One shot. Let's begin. Black Terror by Mito Matsuri. Alright. So this was the one shot of the Rose one. So now we're gonna see the creepy side is a creepy and eerie neighborhood. A series of tragedies mixed with black comedy in this town begins. Um, Anata no Motokare group, I think, translated, uploaded by Motokare. Let's see how this is, everybody. Zoom in a bit. A monster called Human is haunting this town.
Hey, mister! Wait a sec, mister! This just fell out of your pocket!
My apologies. Little kid, it's really brave of you to not be afraid of the spider.
Mister, don't you know the name of this town?
Of course I do. This is the town that's famed for its eerie atmosphere. Creepy side.
That's why I'm used to seeing creepy crawlies like this.
I see. Then let me tell you something, little brave one. You see, she didn't fall out. She was going down.
What do you mean?
Can you put her back on the ground?
She's gone.
It's fine. She's very smart and will find her way back to me without fail. Little kid, do you know about the blood-sucking birds? Or about the worms that live only in corpses? And the beast that would eat its own offspring? How did they evolve to become like that? I don't know why. There's a lot of creatures out there that we don't know. Perhaps I'll be mocked for this, but I think these are the reasons why. They are attracted to blood, to corpses and their own offspring. And she's no exception.
That spider. So, what exactly is she attracted to?
Human madness. Case01, pay attention. Clop, clop, clack, clack. Ha, ha. Clop, clop, clack, clack, clack. Oh, it's the Rose Girl, or a similar design.
Help! Somebody! Oh. Stop! Please spare me!
Alright now, say cheese. It's not your life I'm after, but it's good that you value your life, because then your fear of death increases. Be cautious of the suspicious looking person. Well, that's right. When you're in fear, your eyelids will raise and your pupils dilate. Look at those huge dilated eyes. Soothes me thoroughly. Whoa. That's some serial killer stuff without the serial killing. Damn. We'll look at this later. It's about 7.2 millimeters. Not too bad. Huh. Everyone's looking at me with their eyes wide open. Yes. Keep looking at me. And yet, there's this woman. Oh? What's this? Excuse me, but I don't have time to play with some random slasher. I'm not a murderer. What I want from you is, then can I go? See ya. Good night. Hey, wait. What's your name? Mary. Prepare yourself. Isn't that expensive? That looks expensive. Shut up. I just want you to be scared. I just want your pupils dilated. So that you won't. Look at me with those eyes. Don't look at me with those indifferent eyes. Don't look at me the way my parents looked at me. They were the same, like you. But they finally looked at me properly when I picked up a knife and started filling it madly. Damn it! Those eyes! Those eyes! Huh? Why are they dilated now. Is, is my story that scary? You know, human eyes don't just dilate out of fear only. You can also dilate when you're in love. What what did you say? You've experienced a lot of hardship, didn't you? I'm a sucker for pitiful people like you. D- don't pity me with such words. Hey, lend me your camera. Hey! Alright, say cheese. We'll see you around. Look at it and think of me. Okay? Damn, this is a new record. The end. Oh, that was lovely. And next time we'll see chapter 2, because it looks like this is an anthology collection. Um, I love this story. I think this author has a talent for gothic aesthetics. I find this premise really interesting too. I think it's well, first let's say this. This is the anthology setup, right? You go here and he'll probably receive the spider at the end of this too, where he's like, "Hey, this is a weird town. People do weird things here." So this is gonna be he'll get the spider at the end. This is just a strange town. This is an introduction for the anthology collection with the kid and the whatever. Spiders are scary. I am scared of spiders. Um, I've seen huntsman spiders. If you Google huntsman spider's nest, it's really freaky. I would be terrified to live that. Even though huntsman spiders are relatively fragile, it's like out of a horror game. But yes, I'm terrified of spiders. I don't like them. Not like hate them, but I am scared of them. Even though I know irrationality and all that stuff here. She's gone is fine. But yeah, she'll come back to them. Case 1, pay attention. So this is a really interesting take on a serial killer. Because serial killers kill for a purpose, right? That purpose can be I want to go and see like experience the terror of my victims. I want to go and feel something. I want to keep trophies. This, that, or the other. For this one in particular, I found it really interesting that his trophy is that they'll dilate their eyes. All right, now say cheese, and then he goes and it's like, because then your fear of death increases. So he just wants these dilated eyes. So he's going around scaring people. And this is an interesting crime because what can you catch him on? Like harassment, where you go and you bother people, so you're harassing them, right, to an unreasonable extent, right? Maybe that's what they can get him on. Is it like threatening a life or threats? I guess brandishing a weapon, maybe, right? Is what you could get him on because he is getting those dilated eyes via the terror, right? And I think that's another proper thing where it's like, oh no, I scared them. I did this here. Their eyes are dilated, and this is evidence in itself. But it's really interesting because he's not necessarily hurting people. If somebody did this like to me, I would be terrified. I would be scared. My eyes would be dilated. But I don't know if I would be. Would that be enough for me to press criminal charges? I don't know how psychologically damaged I'd be. So it's a really interesting premise here. And I think that's a legal battle that we don't need to analyze. I will say, as I'm looking at these eyes, and maybe this is more me, I feel like there's a more feminine vibe to these eyes than a masculine vibe. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just that the big pictures have more like feminine hairstyles with the eyelashes to send the other. And like this could be feminine, this could be feminine here. Right off the bat, this could be masculine as well. I think this might be the only like masculine one here. Maybe this one potentially. This one potentially too. Maybe this is all masculine side. I don't know. It feels like he's bullying women to an extent, right? And you would be more terrified as a woman, just like if somebody came like I got a machete in your face, although everybody would be. But that's where I'm like I wonder, right, who he targets and purposefully why. Um, and then this person here, I find it also really interesting because he doesn't want to hurt him. He just wants to terrify him. But you did kind of get that vibe that he was gonna do something here. He's like, "Don't look at me with indifference," right? Don't look at me with indifference, and I think that could be an interesting one, where this could have been the line where he crossed it, right? Where he crossed it, he killed her, and it's like, okay, now you won't look at me with indifference, and then he faces this bigger dread because even in death, she looked at him with indifference, right? Or she didn't even care as much about him there. And I don't think it's implied that he killed his parents. Maybe he was a little scary, and they like took him seriously. Like, oh, now you care, right? Because they were neglectful. And then when her eyes dilated, that's also another thing, right? It's like, oh my gosh, I'm in love with you, and we got this, that, or the other. Because, I wonder how separate fear and love are, right? That, like, you might be a little scared, but you kind of love it, right? That sense of adrenaline. Fun fact for dating advice is that they suggest you take your date on an exciting first date, like a roller coaster or a horror movie, because there's like that conditioning where like their heart's pumping a lot and they associate it by being with you, right? So that's one thing you could do. Like, and I wonder if those correlate. But also, I do know that your eyes do dilate when you love something. I was actually on a date not too long ago, and I knew that it wasn't gonna go anywhere too much because when I look at her eyes quite often, I could see there was not that dilation there. It's like, oh, okay, you don't have that like love or affection, and then inevitably they're like, hey, let's be friends, and now we're friends, right? Type of thing there. But that's a fun little thing too, where the love and dilation is a real thing. And I wonder how many people would love this backstory. Like, oh, you threatened to kill your parents, and they loved you here. And she's kind of like sees him a little bit pitiful, right? Because he's not going to kill her. He's not a murderer. He's just doing this for attention, and for her, that's kind of like hot in its own sense. And she goes like, phew, right? She's like, oh, you just want attention. I'll give you attention. She's a little like, you're not going to do anything, right? I don't know if I'd call this tsundere, but it's like she's going to be the more dominant person here, right? And I love that too. Fits the gothic aesthetic. It fits this guy who's also stylish because this author, Mido Matsuri, is also very stylish, right? When their last thing, it's a little bit rougher than the last one. There's a lot more like raw lines, like you can see here. This is just colored in, but it's also its own approach. It's like fantasy esque. I mean, these houses have their own aesthetic here. They're not completely straight or anything. They're not meant to be realistic. They're meant to be gothic architecture. This person here, gothic, relation to their last character, and it has a nice vibe to it. This is amazing here. You get that they're doing their own style. They're developing it, and it's all amazing. And I mean, this person in the maid outfit. I don't know why they need to be in a maid outfit, but it's also great. Um, right? And this is the thing. Like this person's terrified that our pupil wouldn't dilate at all. Um, and that's another thing, right? Like that's fun. And that's interesting. I think this is an interesting premise. You could really make this as a dark, scary love story if you really, really wanted to. And maybe he wouldn't scare people, or maybe he would, or maybe he'd become the scariest thing imaginable. YouTube prank channel where they do dangerous things, but he does do dangerous things. Um, I love this story. The art is good. It's very stylish. This person developing their own style. It's a unique story, a unique take on serial killers without serial killing, and also somehow has a tinge of romance. I love this story. It's great. We're gonna read more of this author very, very soon. I'm not sure if there's. Oh, it looks like. Oh, these are all different cases. This is an anthology. I've been thinking to an anthology are perfect. Um, yeah, I just love it. I've loved this author 2 out of 2 of the things we've seen so far. It's charming. Happy Halloween, even though it's not for a few months. So, with all that being said, everybody, like, comment, subscribe, and thank you for being born, y'all. Peace out.